Way back in the day when the Clone Wars was just a little tiny show on Cartoon Network that was seemingly watched by nobody but apparently was the total opposite, Bo-Katan was one of the coolest Star Wars characters around. There is no Disney-produced sequel trilogy on the horizon, no live-action Star Wars show from Jon Favreau, so it was beyond our wildest dreams that Bo-Katan would appear in all her Katie Sackhoff live-action glory. And that is why the internet suddenly shattered when this happened. So, to all my fellow die-hard Clone Wars fans, let's just take a moment to appreciate how awesome we are and discuss what exactly Deathwatch's coolest Mando has been up to all this time. 2020 has been a big year for Bo-Katan. We saw her last during the Siege of Mandalore for the long-awaited Clone Wars finale. She, Ahsoka, and the other Mandalorians successfully kicked Darth Maul off the throne and took their home world back. And then they got to celebrate that victory for, like an hour. Yeah, that's because the Republic took a hard right turn into an empire and decided that they too wanted to own Mandalore. So once again, Bo-Katan was pushed out of her home by outsiders. Then things looked up for her a little bit in Rebels. Everyone's favorite plucky young Mando, Sabine Wren, presented Bo-Katan with the Darksaber, and all of the disparate Mandalorian clans united under her as their ruler. It seemed for a while there like she would finally overthrow the Empire and become the Mandalore we all knew she could be. Yeah, unfortunately that went about as well as Obi Wan Kenobi's love life. Sorry, Satine. Our first clue came during The Mandalorian when we met the post-Return of the Jedi Mandalorians. It's safe to say that they were quite a bit different than what we expected. For starters, these Mandos were crazy zealots that refused to take off their helmets. These brand new Mandalorians were also doing a Dagobah, living in exiled communities known as coverts with only one of them allowed to leave at a time. Of course, there was still some hope that these Mandalorians were just ostracized by their own kind. Maybe Bo-Katan and the other Mandalorians were all safe and sound at home on Yeah, that one Mandalorian just said the word purge. That's never good. Unfortunately, at some point after Bo-Katan's big Rebels moment, Emperor Palpatine was having a board meeting with his top guys where he was all like, "Hey, do y'all remember that time we utterly destroyed every Jedi in the galaxy in a vicious purge? Well, that was super successful, and I think we should try it again, but with the Mandalorians this time." So the Empire went forward with Order 66 Part 2 Electric Boogaloo and pretty much obliterated everyone who wore Beskar armor whose name wasn't Boba Fett. Once again, it proved to be a much bigger hit than the Death Star proved to be, with young upstart Moff Gideon in charge of terminating everyone on Mandalore. He had a face-off with Bo-Katan, which she lost, resulting in him Darth Mauling the Darksaber away from her. The second that every Clone Wars fan saw Moff Gideon slash his way out of a TIE fighter with the Darksaber, we all had the same exact reaction. So first of all, it was utter and complete joy over seeing the Darksaber in beautiful live-action glory wielded by Gus Fring, the greatest television villain of all time, hands down. Seriously, if you saw what this man could do with a box cutter, then you know his Darksaber skills are pretty good. And then all that joy turned to horror as we realized what the implications of that were. If he had the Darksaber, he likely pried it from Bo-Katan's lifeless body. Din Djarin started off the season taking out a crate dragon from the inside like he was Iron Man, but was made to look like the Hawkeye of Bo-Katan's elite Mando squad. I'm gonna officially dub them the Bo-Vengers. So somehow the Great Mandalorian Purge successfully took down all of the Mandalorians except the one who mattered. Bo-Katan made it out of the second Siege of Mandalore sans Darksaber, but kept her life and fighting spirit. Also, she kept those beautiful looks. Seriously, Bo-Katan has got to be in her mid to late 50s by the time of The Mandalorian. Compare that to Boba Fett, who looks about 68 despite being in his early 40s, and you've got to respect Katan's skincare game. Whatever Mandalorian moisturizer she uses, I definitely want some. That is the way for sure. So apparently a Bo-Katan is gonna do what a Bo-Katan gonna do. She's been back to her old Deathwatch ways, leading a small team of Mandalorian rebels to pirate ships, steal arms, gather allies, and one day retake Mandalore once and for all. From the way the Imperials were willing to take down their own freighter just to take her out, it seems like she's been a good deal more successful. We're just gonna go ahead and ignore the fact that not a single Mandalorian appears in the sequel trilogy to fight the First Order. There's no way that Mandalore got Starkiller based, right? Right, guys? Don't do this to me again, Star Wars. If there's a future series that shows General Hux wielding the Darksaber, I'm gonna be a wreck. If you have any ideas about what Bo-Katan's up to next, well, the comment section awaits. If you liked the video and want to see more Mandalorian content in the future, don't forget to like and subscribe to CBR. As always, thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.